This video is going to be on false prophets and gurus and any character like the like. They're all grifters. They're all selling you books, they're all selling you courses, they're selling you memberships, and they all say, I've got the answers. And what they usually do is they have a little bit of information, or they have some truth, or like whatever, and then they use that, they package it up, and then they sell it, and they basically play a character. And people, in their desperate need of someone to help them and provide them with some guidance, they fall right for this. And I haven't met many of these people in person, but I have met a few, and you could just feel their the mask in a sense. It's very like bizarre, but you could tell they're playing a character. And at the end of the day, we're all kind of playing a character, but they're a lot more invested into the character they're playing. And at the end of the day, you really have to find your own way. There is no there are things you can get from the environment, from other people, that can help you along the way, but you're really gonna have to figure it out on your own. Like, there's not going to be that person who just has all the answers and everything you need and all this and that. And I always thought that perhaps the idea of that our DNA was manipulated by aliens and they made us or something, if it is true, it makes sense, because we had this innate thing in us that we want something to look up to for guidance and whatnot. It's like, even before there was kings and stuff, there was like the gods and stuff, and there's these things that are beyond us, and we need to worship them, and we need to do what they say. And then then we had the kings, and now we have the politicians and the experts and the scientists and stuff, and we just need to do like whatever they say, basically, because they know better than we do. And it's this like infant dependent mentality that I feel like you would naturally grow out of as you get older, but a lot of people don't. And the only reason I could think of why that's a problem is because we're manipulated at some point to have this in us, where we're just built that way to do that. So the idea that aliens kind of made us for like kind of labor slaves, basically, like the Sumerian text, I'm like, that makes sense to me, because we just seem to want to bow down to something greater than ourselves. And it's ironic, because the greatest thing we could submit ourselves to lies within us. It's not external, and it's not even so much a submission thing, it's an alignment thing. And it gets frustrating over time with people, because I just see these gurus and grifters come and go, and everybody just follows them and stuff, and you can't tell them anything. The best example of this is back when I was basically rebelling against reality. I've always, even since a kid, valued my freedom, and felt like anyone that's trying to infringe on my freedom, that's a problem, and I need to address it. And at some point you get older and you realize that the state itself is controlling you and telling you what to do and all these things. And I was like, nah, fuck that. So I was like rebelling legally when I was younger, or with the legal system. And there's all these different groups. There's the sovereign citizens, and there's these I can't think of any others, but there's these other groups. The sovereign citizen movement was just a honeypot to get the schizos corralled up and locked up, basically, and distracted, fighting pointless battles over like parking tickets and stuff like that. Anyways, there was this dude named Robert Johnson who took a lot of this like stuff that's been floating around for years and just made a little PDF book and was selling it and stuff. And he grew with all these followers, and I was in some kind of like like Facebook group or something with these people, and I just asked some questions and said like, oh, actually that's not right because here, and gave some like evidence, and these people like attacked me and called me like I got accused of being a Freemason, of being like a CIA agent, all these things, and then they just like banned me from the group basically. And I wasn't being rude, I wasn't talking down to them or anything. I was just pointing out where they might be wrong, or like things challenging them a little bit. And it was because they're protecting this dude. And it's funny because the guy ended up like, well, one, the guy wasn't even doing all the stuff he put in his book. Like, he was LARPing that he was, but he wasn't. Like, he just basically put everything in his wife's name. And so he wasn't, like, doing the whole, like, driving without and he wasn't driving without a license or driving with, like, fake plates or, like, any of that stuff that he was telling other people to do. And then the same guy ends up, like, dying from overdosing on heroin, which is hilarious to me. And, but the people, they were just, like, it's so committed to this, like they're just defending this guy for like so hardcore for like no reason, and it was just like a weird thing to me. But people do that with all kinds of people. Like, there's some people that worship like celebrities and they follow them and this and that, and they build up this whole idea of them in their head, and they like see them as like this great magnificent being almost. And I see this behavior over and over and over again. And it's very very strange. Like, if you notice that with people, like maybe there's like a YouTuber you follow, or like whatever, or maybe there's a guru you follow, or like whatever, and you hang on to their every word and everything they say is the gospel, you really got to take a step back and be like, why am I doing this? Why can't I just listen to what this person has to say and just kind of take it for face value? Like, why is there like this emotional attachment to it? Because it's definitely not healthy in my mind, and a lot of people have this problem. I don't think I had this problem, only because I moved around a lot when I was younger, so I was constantly like meeting new people, and I've seen the worst of people so many times that I'm used to like people having this mask in public, but then they have this dark side behind the scenes. So I basically inherently just don't take people at face value when I meet them. I just I assume that they might have some darker tendencies, or some parts of their personality that they don't let people know about, which is true for everyone basically. But just the question is to what degree. Yeah, so if there's someone out there, guru you follow or something like that, that's if you're getting some information, you get something out of it, that's great. But don't tie that to the person. Like, just take the information as information, but just don't attach to the person, because at some point they're gonna disappoint you, because they're gonna say something that you don't like, or like whatever. Like it was like this funny thing when like Trump got elected, and then the all these like YouTubers like picked a side and like got political all of a sudden. So there was like some that were for, some were against, and then they would end up losing like half their subscribers because people get angry. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe this person supports him, or this person doesn't. It was funny. I was unsubscribing just because, like, if their channel was about like, I don't know, like language learning or something, like I don't need to hear your opinion on Donald Trump. So I was just like, this is stupid, like you're annoying me kind of thing. But it wasn't because they were like pro or against, it was just because they brought it up at all. Like there's a YouTuber I followed, and he did like Japanese videos, and then during COVID, he made this like clickbait title. It was like, why you're not going to Japan or something like that. And then he had like a live stream about, how important it is to get the vaccine. He's like, well, I got the vaccine and nothing happened to me. And he's very like smug and pompous about it, and like, you know, talking down to people that aren't getting it, and trying to like, um, you know, hold this, you know, going to Japan as like a thing. It's like, well, if you want to go, you're gonna have to get it. And that was just disgusted me. Like, you make language videos, like you're not in a position to talk about any of this, and yet here you are. It was just like, you know, stay in your lane. So I unsubscribed. Like, it was really annoying. Like, who the fuck are you? But there are people that follow that guy and agreed with what he said and continue to follow him, and they're like, oh my god, this guy is great. He like, you know, I love everything he's doing, everything he's saying. But there will be a point where he says something they don't like, and they might just be like, oh, I can't believe that he said or did that. I'm unsubscribing. It's like they as they look up to like certain people, like they have to be this like perfect person that agrees with everything they say and everything they do. Like, there's a lot of YouTubers I follow, and I disagree with them on a lot of things. It's normal. Like, I'm my own person, they're their own person, and we have our own reasons for believing this or that. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, hold it against them like, oh my god, I can't believe this person doesn't agree with everything I say and feel. But in summary, just reflect on this. You know, the people you follow, the people you look up to, and just make sure you're not, you know, idolizing them and putting them on a pedestal and stuff. Make sure you're also taking control of your life and trying to find your own path and trying to figure things out on your own. Like, don't just be this helpless little, you know, guy or girl that needs to cling to this and cling to that. Like, you really gotta, the only way out's through yourself. Like, you can't, there's nothing external that's gonna help you in the truest sense of the word. You're gonna have to do it yourself.